Hey guys, welcome into this week's USC Recruiting Roundup. We had some news of a decommitment this week that we'll get into. Also, we'll talk about Malachi Nelson and why USC fans have absolutely nothing to worry about in terms of his commitment to the Trojans. Now, this is a new series here on the channel, so whenever there is USC recruiting news, I will be covering it here. I am also going to be covering USC basketball this season as well. USC's first game is November 7th against Florida Gulf Coast, so my season preview will be out the week of November 1st. Alright, now that that's taken care of, let's get into the video. So first, let's get into the Dylan Williams decommitment. Now this one really came out of left field. If you follow Dylan on Twitter, you'd see that he's tweeting USC stuff out almost every other day, it seems. I have heard multiple people say that out of all the 2024 commits, he's the one they would have least expected to decommit at this time. So when he announced his decommitment, it was very surprising to say the least. Now, in case you weren't familiar, Dylan Williams is a 2024 four-star linebacker from Long Beach Poly. Now, obviously, the Long Beach Poly pipeline is one that has been closed down for USC over the last few years, and it's one they desperately need to get back up and running. Now, with this decommitment, in no way is USC out of it for him. Dylan talked to 247 recruiting insider Greg Biggins about what led to his decision to decommit. Now, if you want to check out the full article, the link will be in the description, but there are a few quotes that really caught my eye that I'd like to talk about. The first one being that Dylan Williams saying that the timing felt right, it's still early for me, and USC is still one of the top, if not the top option for me moving forward. Now, obviously actions speak louder than words, so we'll see where this goes from here, but I believe Dylan when he says that. One scroll through his Twitter shows you the genuine love he has for USC. The second quote I want to discuss is when he brought up USC cornerback coach Dante Williams. Dylan said, "I have a good relationship with Dante and I really like Coach Odom, USC's linebacker coach. It was nothing against them, and they said I'm still a high priority and the top guy on their board." Now, last year, Dante Williams began recruiting Dylan when he was USC's interim coach. And if there's one thing we know about Dante, it's that he does not lose many of these battles. And the last thing that caught my eye is when he said, "I heard from a ton of schools that I hadn't heard from before. I heard from Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia Tech, Penn State, Oklahoma, and Alabama. It sounds like they all could be close to offering and they all want me to visit now. I have a few schools I want to visit, but I'm still working all that out right now." So this is going to become a real battle. A lot of schools are going to want his services. It's hard to blame a kid who's making the biggest decision in his entire life for wanting to see what's out there. He has spoken very highly of UCLA, Utah, and Oregon, so USC will need to continue to recruit him and keep him on their radar. Now I want to talk about Malachi Nelson. There has been some worry and anxiety in regards to a potential decommitment or flip, specifically to Texas A&M. And personally, I wasn't worried before, but I'm even less worried now. In a recent interview with On3, Malachi talked about where he stands in regards to his commitment to USC.
Of course, last one, the fans want to hear you talk about your kind of where you're at with your commitment, how you feel about SC. Last one.
I'm set, man. I'm ready to, start, finishing up this class. We got a couple more pieces to fill, and, we're gonna get to it in the spring.
He was also emphatic in his praise of Lincoln Riley and the culture he is creating at USC.
What do you think is the key to Lincoln Riley being a great head coach?
Man, I think it's just the way he treats the players, the way they trust him. When you have a big-time coach like that, the players really buy in. And, I see that. The world sees it now that we're winning some games. And, yeah, it's cool to see how, he has a command over the team, but, they trust him and they love him.
I mean, you live here. You've seen USC before, and then now with Lincoln Riley. What do you see as the biggest difference?
I say it's just that, everything that, Coach Riley brought over from Oklahoma with the staff, and, the way they treat the players, the way the players really want to win now. They feel like they really can win and they really have a shot to, make a run, and, they want to win. That's the common goal of the team. When you have that, you win some games and, you have fun.
So after hearing what Malachi had to say there, I think it's pretty clear to say that he was never going to go to Texas A&M. Since Jimbo Fisher has taken over at Texas A&M, they've had 0 receivers drafted. 0. He doesn't develop quarterbacks. Just look at their offense this year. It's laughably bad. I don't care how much NIL money they're offering. The quarterback development pedigree of Lincoln Riley is enough to keep him locked in. USC's in-house NIL department may not be as loaded to the gills with cash like A&M's is, but the city of Los Angeles has so many opportunities for these kids, we're seeing Caleb Williams take advantage of it currently. The way Malachi is talking publicly and still recruiting heavily for this USC class mixed in with Texas A&M struggles, that shows me that he's fully bought into USC and Texas A&M is not a real consideration for him at this point. As recently as last week, I have seen USC fans worried about a possible flip involving Malachi, but I don't see that as a legitimate concern at this point. Alright guys, that'll do it for today's video. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on both Dylan Williams and Malachi Nelson down in the comments. And as always, thank you all so much for listening. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Fight on.